to the First Gen All In Experience.
Hello. Here to talk about like first generation college students, because like that's like a heavy topic amongst a lot of college students. A lot of college students are people that come through, they'll be the first in their family, first to do big things. So I did a little bit of research, and first generation college student that's very famous in this world was Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is from Kosciuszko, Mississippi. Go Mississippi. She grew up having to steal from her parents. You know, she grew up having to do some hard things, make some bad decisions. You know, but look at where she is now. You know, one of her famous quotes was, if I can just see it real quick, lots of people want to ride with you in the limo, but what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. So basically what I get from that is, you know, even when life gets hard, you know, life could be going so good, you got all these people around you. But who's going to be there with you when life gets hard? You know, you can go from having all these riches to being down in the slums. Who's going to still be right there with you? So, you know, I feel like that's something she stuck by, and they got her where she was today, you know, going to college and everything, doing what she did, and making her one of the big names she is today. So that's what I get from that.
Okay. Any personal connection there for you and hearing her story, anything?
Well, I'm definitely not a first generation college student. Well, university wise, yeah, I am. But my mother she did go to a 2-year, but definitely gonna be the first person, you know, my mother and my father and my siblings to graduate a 4-year, you know, hopefully get the degrees I want and, you know, get the jobs I want. So
quick question now. I don't know anybody can jump in if y'all feel like it. You said she needed to steal? Like,
I don't feel like nobody needs to steal, but like it's definitely, that's why I said she made some bad decisions. She wanted to do this. She wanted that money. But I mean, hopefully she wanted that money for like good reasons. I don't know where she wanted that money at her time, but
I was going to talk about Ben Carson. He was a prominent medical specialist in neuroscience, and he also was, you know, the first person to complete a surgery among twins. And so looking at his impoverished background and all the struggles that his mother and father went through to put him in that situation, it really just is a blessing to see all the work that he's been able to do coming from where he grew up and stuff like that.
Personal thoughts on Ben Carson and his story, connections?
He, you know, dealing with neuroscience, since I'm a psychology major, there's a lot of connections between the two. I think that he also advocated for you know, the African American minority within the medical field of medicine and within the field of, you know, all related fields. So I think I really appreciate him for that.
So I said, okay. He be spazzing on the people in the interviews, don't he?
Uh-huh.
Good. Make sure we talking about the same guy. He's funny. That's how I heard about Ben Carson. Yeah. He be going crazy on the interviews now. I wanted time he attacked that reporter, man. So I didn't know he was really like official. Like, was he a senator?
He's his name.
Is that his own title? I don't know about him like that.
He's also, I think he's a representative for the urban and housing for a committee that deals with urban and housing. But,
okay. Is he still active? Like as far as
United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development.
I personally picked 2 Chainz. He's a famous artist. Everybody know him. He ran into trouble early in his college career, leading him to his rap career, but he still finished his studies at the University of Virginia. I relate to him because like him, I went through some troubles of my own, you feel me? And I still made it to college, like despite the doubts and despite like not having nobody but my parents believe in me. Mm-hmm. I still made it here. It's pretty cool to see somebody that's in my career, you know, being famous, and he went through the kind of the same troubles, and he still made it.
I want to give my 2 cents real quick on K3 specifically, man. I don't know if y'all went to the bonfire. Anybody here? We was actually supposed to host it. Did anybody see K3 and K performing? Anybody back there? Anybody like the way they was performing? You be honest.
100%.
Okay. because that's what I wanted to hit on, man. I think K3, especially being, the music guy he is, that was and he's not just a regular. I feel like, some people like to be trying to be a rapper, not to discourage somebody from going to their, trying to chase their dreams and everything. But I think K3 actually has, some serious talent when it comes to that. So
I'm gonna be real.
I think
when I'm listening to music, I actually like it. I turn on the little Shazam thing on my phone so I can see what song it is. Then when I realize it was K3, I was like,
yeah, that's what
I'm just gonna ask him for the song person.
Yeah.
But I'm so like, why this song gonna pick up? I want this.
I think it would be cool, K3. You shout yourself out on Instagram or whatever platform you got for music. Or
At the moment, I don't have any music dropped, but I do have a go on Instagram. It's DTB_.K3.
God, the only people to stop me from trail ride dancing and run over and do a song that I got to do. Yeah, something there.
I chose Samuel Jackson. He's like one of my favorite actors. Hold on, don't laugh. Don't laugh.
It's Uncle.
He was from Washington, D.C. His mother was a factory worker, and his father wasn't in his life. He struggled from alcoholism, and he only met him twice. He attended school at Morehouse College in Atlanta. He initially pursued a degree in marine biology, but he had participated in a local actor program, and he then found his passion, and he changed his major to acting. In 1972, before he graduated, he founded the Just Us Theater. Before his early acting, he had a cocaine addiction, which set him back drastically, but he overcame that. And it wasn't until he was 40 years old that he had his breakout movie called Do the Right Thing in 1989. And now he is known for his roles in Pulp Fiction and Django. And the message I got from him was, it's never too late to reach your goals.
I want to talk about Michelle Obama, a very important person who we are very familiar with. She's also a first gen. She was born and raised in Chicago. And then when she went to college as a first gen, she talked about how she's struggling and she doesn't have a community. And her biggest advice for the first gen students are have your own community, have your own support group, reach out to your interests, because when you're a first gen, you might not have the opportunities other student has, at least that's what she says. So she talks about the importance of a support group, and our university also has other organizations that support first generation. You guys should check it out. But yeah, I heard she has made lunch programs.
Yeah, I was
from,
about to go in. She's taking away hot chips, man. What? She's taking away hot chips and all the daggone vending machines. Not as that, she had her program she was doing where she was, like you said, making healthier foods.
It's Michelle with our pantry.
Yeah. Shout out Michelle Obese, man. That's my homegirl. We kicked it back in the day. I can't give that information. I can't give you that information. She hot. She high class now. She don't like everybody just having her number. I asked her one day though. But yeah, I think I know when you said Michelle Obama, I definitely would give my 2 cents. I appreciate her contributions. Being an exercise scientist major, exercise science major. You said it wrong, but exercise science major. It's a lot of obesity. I know a lot of obesity in America. So when she did that, a lot of people did like it, but I think it was one of the changes that needed to happen. Instead of just looking at it from the negative side, we can see okay, we ain't like this, but I'm sure that has some type of impact on obesity in America for students and stuff like that. So we appreciate it though.
But speaking of the support part of it and organization, y'all are a part of it. Is the space of mind is y'all should build it on their community within. For those who are first gen, can you all say that you have a valid support system?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, I connect with some of my, could it be when you say about supporting like friends, anything like that, I connect with a lot of my guys back at home. You know, we talk in our group chat, and as much as we joke, we do congratulate each other on the big things we've done. You know, all of us are, well, my classmates, all of us are in our second year of college. So, you know, we tell each other like we're proud of each other. You know, all the stuff we went through in high school, you know, a lot of us didn't think we would be in the seats we are today. So, you know, definitely proud of them. Definitely have some people that's right. I know they're sticking beside me because I know my freshman year was probably one of the roughest times of my life. So it was a pretty rough time, you know, a lot of things, had to get through a lot of things, but I had people right there beside me, like helping me out, like older people, younger people, you know. So I was definitely blessed to have that.
Well, I chose Viola Davis because of the way she grew up, huh?
She called.
She was cold. But she was the second youngest of 6 children, and her mother was a maid, and her father was a horse groomer. So she grew up very poor. Like, she literally focuses all of her work now with all of her big things being out of the way to promote getting children out of poverty or just people out of poverty in general. But she was very successful. She took her childhood experiences and turned that into her motivation, which she now, that's what basically what she did in college. She went to Rhode Island College, and then she went to Juilliard on a full scholarship. And then she went from there, and then she went on to do all of her little minor roles and shows, and then she got her own show, and then How to Get Away with Murder, and then Hill from the movie. And what was the other show? Fences, the movie. So all of that, and then that movie with Cicely Tyson, because she was her like biggest inspiration. She went into acting. But all that to say, the thing that I took from her, because I'm not not an actor or anything or an art major, but you can't let your past determine what your future is going to look like. Even though you might have had a hard start growing up, you can have a very successful ending.
Yeah, I definitely want to be the one to piggyback off there. Don't let your past, you know, determine what your future look like. Because your past can look like anything. Basically, go back to what I said over Winfrey, you know, her having to, her stealing from her mother, you know, her parents and stuff like that. You know, hopefully she can pay that money back to them, or it's probably even more for them, you know. But like, still, you can do some bad things in your past. You can mess up in your past, you know. But there's always time about it. There's always time to go back and do the right thing, you know. There's always time to, you know, make a better living for your life, better living for yourself, you know. So just don't let that determine, you know, how your future looks, you know.
I chose Sir Brian May of Queen. I couldn't find a lot on his background, but recently he got his PhD in astrophysics and stereoscopic photography authority. He was just recently knighted by King Charles III in March of 2023. What's strange is he's a producer, but he didn't go to school for any of it. So, which is strange for me to be picking him, but he was really big with me growing up, because I listened to a lot of what he did. And he's also a animal welfare activist. So overall, he's just a really nice guy. And from what I have seen, he is a first-generation student.
Yeah, so what did he do? Like you said, my father. How did you get him somewhere?
Just Queen. He's the guitarist. He's the lead guitarist and backup vocalist for Queen.
You a music head. Okay. You a music head. You like Queen?
I'm a DMI major.
You're not a music head.
I'm an audio engineer.
Oh, audio engineer. Okay, so what's your favorite band, man? What's your favorite band?
Green Day.
Yeah, Green Day hard, man. I got a nice favorite song.
But one of the quotes that I found from him that kind of stuck with me is the biggest emotion in creation is the bridge to optimism.
What did that mean to you?
Just always looking forward to the future and not letting the bad things get you down.
Nice. I got Muhammad Ali, man. He is definitely an inspiration for a lot of young men, specifically young black men. You know, a lot of people, a lot of young black men go through their struggles just being, depending on where you're from, right? You can be from a certain place where it's statistically harder for you to get out without, you know, being a criminal. You know, and making it out crime-free, making it out of your neighborhood. So it's a lot of social pressures going on, you know, a lot of physical pressures, right? Because it gets serious. So I'm saying all that to say that it's a lot of struggle amongst a lot of young black men. Some of them take it out in different ways, you know. Again, going back to the criminal, some people commit crime, other people go study real hard, and other people might go to the gym, work out, and some people go and box. That was Muhammad Ali. I think that was kind of what he might have been going through. But just to give a quick background, then we're going to wrap it up. Muhammad Ali was born Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. in segregated Louisville, Kentucky on January 17th, 1942. He became a global icon through his boxing prowess, outspoken activism, and captivating personality. Later changing the name to Muhammad Ali after joining the Nation of Islam. So that's his background real quick. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say about him. Anybody have any last inputs, questions?
Shout out to all the first generation college students out there. Absolutely. You're making it. You don't do something. You don't regret it. Stick to it.
Something. Not to it, but
You know what I'm saying? Make your parents proud.